Manning drops the hammer. Slam dunk
on Morgan. Finds a cutting Wahl all the way to the glass for two. And he's going to the line.
Wahl puts it on the deck in attack mode. Down the lane to the rim. Layup good. Tyler Wahl out high for three. And the tie. Got it. Tyler Wahl with a triple.
Welcome to our 10th episode of The Dinner Table. We're so excited to welcome in Wisconsin star forward Tyler Wahl. Tyler, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your time.
Of course, I'm glad we could make it work. Glad I'm on.
So coming off the game yesterday, it was a really emotional game to start. I mean, I've been nonstop thinking about Howard Moore and that pregame ceremony. I'm wondering how that moment kind of puts life into perspective for you.
It was really special to be able to have him come in and visit a game. He was here. He was an assistant coach before I got here, and the whole thing went down like a week or two, 3 weeks before I got here in June. And so everything happened, and we were able to go to Coach Moore's house, and he was able to talk to us, which was a really special thing, and kind of give us his testimony about everything that happened. And then things kind of went downhill after that, but last night it's really great to be able to have the community that we have here, like the program, all the brotherhood that we have, where we bring Coach Moore out, and even though he wasn't a Michael Finley or someone like that, he has those type of guys where they wouldn't miss that game for the world, where they're able to see him, get him out on the Kohl Center again, and have a special moment with one of their brothers and someone who's been a really big part of their life, and just to be there for that moment, I think was really cool. As a player, in my perspective, it really got me fired up for that game, where you see something like that, where there's way bigger problems in the world other than winning or losing a basketball game, where that kind of puts in perspective before, and you want to go out there and play for him and do the best that you can.
Man, that gives me chills, man. I mean, you could tell. I saw the videos on Twitter and before the game. I don't know Coach Moore at all, and I'm like getting emotional watching that stuff, and to see the support that he has from all of his former players and coaches and guys who are reaching out on Twitter. I saw Coach Miller from Xavier reach out, and he was an assistant, and actually Coach Moore, and so it's very cool to see. And the support of the Wisconsin Badger community obviously is unwavering. So.
I know you guys two are really close, with his son, Jarrell, and he's a really special kid. Just what can you say about him? And I know it was halftime when he got up and talked to the crowd, but it was pretty amazing if you were able to watch that back.
Yeah, I saw it on his Instagram, and I gave him a whole lot of credit. That's a big thing to do for a 17, 18-year-old kid, to go out and speak about what he's been through, what the sport he has, how he's doing now. And yeah, Jarrell's just a great kid. I know he's trying to get into Madison here, which I think would be really awesome. But Jarrell's a great kid. He's been around for my entire time here. He comes to a few games. He stops into practice sometimes. And to see him be able to go through something like that and be able to come in, put a smile on his face, and just be in the moment in practice or at the game and just have a smile, going through everything that he's gone through shows what kind of a dad that Coach Moore was, and his wife and his sister, and how good of a job he's done with Jarrell, despite everything that's gone on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, that was great too. He's you can tell he's quite the charismatic kid. I want to get into the game a little bit now. Obviously, tough loss for you guys yesterday. First off, we really appreciate you coming on too. I know it's not easy coming on after a loss, but it just shows how professional you are, man. And you had a great game yesterday. Me, Chloe, and Carly were all watching, and we were rooting for you. And Carly's much more of a Badgers fan, and you gained a couple more supporters with me and Chloe yesterday. Watching how you played, man, it's really been fun to watch you. And I saw you get described often as a Swiss Army knife, and I couldn't agree with that more. With how you you kind of do it all for everybody on that team. And 20 points for you yesterday. But can you just talk a little bit about what you guys are maybe missing right now in the last stretch here, and how you think you guys can turn things around moving forward, and just maybe talk about that game a little bit?
I feel like our biggest problem in the stretch that we've gone on is we haven't been able to get stops when we really need to, where we're in those last 4 minutes. It's a close game, and we're not able to come up with those stops. So finding a way to be able to get it done here. We're running out of time, but approaching practice every day where we're fighting every day. We're competing. We're trying to get it done. We're trying to get better. And so I think that's what we got to continue to do. We got to find the guys who want to go out there, want to get the stops, get the loose balls that we haven't been getting, and just continuing to look for it. We got to find the guys that are out there and ready, willing to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Scoring 91 at the Kohl Center for Illinois. Obviously, that's you guys pride yourself on the defensive end, especially in the Kohl Center. Is there stuff tactically that you guys are talking about in practice, like we got to do this better, maybe in ball screen situation, or do you think it's more of just those timely loose balls, 50-50 balls, and coming up with those plays?
I mean, I think it's a little mix of both. Where if you're giving up offensive rebounds, you're giving up those 50-50 balls. That's 5-10 possessions in a game that you don't get a shot if you give it to the other team. So we need to get those, and then on systematically, I feel like we all just got to be on the same page where we're all playing that team defense. We're helping each other out. If someone gets beat, we know we have that trust where our help side is going to be there. And so being able to figure that out, along with being able to get those extra possessions, I think is just what we're missing. And we're right there, and we just got to figure it out here in the next few weeks.
So, Tyler, you're our first Badger, which is actually a good compliment, I guess. First Badger, so we'll shout that out. But I know that the Badger community, Wisconsin community, a ton of people around the country were happy when you decided to come back. So I just want to know, what was your decision in coming back and playing for Wisconsin for this extra year?
I mean, yeah, last year it definitely didn't meet the expectations that we want or that we had going into the year. So that kind of left a bitter taste in my mouth. So I wouldn't want to leave on that note where we don't make the tournament. We struggle through some games. We pissed away a couple of ones that we should have won. But for me, it was more just coming back, leaving the program in a better spot than when I came in. So that it just would have left a horrible taste in my mouth, I think, for the rest of my life going on that note. So I wanted to come back, have a better year this year, be healthy this year. And it's been great. I got great teammates. I got a great group of coaches where we have a good game plan and good people in the organization and the program. So I think being able to go through with an extra gift of a year, be able to kind of go through as a victory lap and soak in this last 8 months has really been a special gift for me. So,
Tyler, I know Greg Gard a little bit, and he just seems like such a great guy. I know you guys have a good relationship. What's something about him that maybe we don't know or don't see with his personality? And if you could just dive a little bit more into the relationship between you two as well.
I mean, yeah, Coach Gard is great. I think he's a great coach. He's not gonna always tell you what you want to hear, but he's gonna tell you the truth. And I think that's something that as a young player you don't really understand, but as you get older, I really have been able to appreciate that. Where even though he's not gonna tell you to shoot the ball 15 times a game, he's not gonna tell you to go up there and do this or do that. He's got expectations and you got to meet those. And I think it's a great thing to have where you got that clear communication where you go out there and you help the team out more than anything.
Spoken like a savvy veteran there with Coach Gard. There's might be one thing that obviously you've had this is your 5th year now in Wisconsin. I doubt this has ever happened to you before. You guys were playing Indiana earlier this week, and there was a 20-minute fire alarm delay?
Yeah.
That was crazy. That was so crazy.
I can't believe this.
We have some conspiracy theories on the dinner table as to you guys having momentum and that fire alarm going off. You don't have to talk about that at all, but can you just talk about what you guys were doing during that 20 minutes and maybe how it might have affected you guys or what you were thinking during that time period?
I mean, yeah, rumor has it a frat guy pulled the fire alarm.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. You heard it here first.
I've never really had something like that. When I was in high school, funny thing, I actually went to Assembly Hall for a basketball game, and it was like the same thing where they were warming up, getting ready for the game, and they had like a tornado drill. So we had as a fan or as a recruit there, it was the same thing where they put everyone in kind of the basement in the concourse and wait for everything to clear and then go out there and play a basketball game.
I have some frat boys that I was friends with that went to Indiana. I would not put that past them, especially if they might have had some money on the line there for Indiana.
What were you guys doing during those 20 minutes though? What were you guys like? What were you telling yourselves? Because that's tough to come back out there and keep the momentum.
Yeah, I mean, we were just in the locker room hanging out. Everyone, the coaches, the leaders on the team were just like, "Hey, let's stay in the moment. Like, we're gonna go back out there. There's no reason to be worried about this or that or what's going on. Like, we need to stay locked into the game." So we were just kind of waiting there, waiting for us to get the okay to get back out there and warm up again. And as soon as we got the clear, we were out there warming up, getting back ready to go.
Crazy situation. I know you mentioned, some of your teammates and just the memories you've had this year. I want to ask you about AJ Storr, what it's like playing with someone that's as athletically gifted as he is. And I'm thinking about that alley-oop pass yesterday. You put it up and you're like, must be so confident that he's going to come down with it. So what's it like playing alongside him?
I mean, yeah, before I threw that lob, he got a back cut earlier in the game, and I threw a bounce pass, and he just, throw it up. So then the next one, it was open, and I picked it up late, and I'm like, oh, shoot, I might as well throw it. He's going to go get it, and he got it. But, yeah, you just throw it up there. We do, a drill the day before a game where I'm his partner, and we kind of do those same things where you drive it, and then you kick it, and they got a back cut, and it's always – throw it up, he's going to go find it and throw it down. So it is really special to have an athlete like that. He does a lot of things that you can't teach, and he makes up for a lot of things that you can't get away with. So it is nice to have that on the team, and he bails us out of some things for sure.
You talked a little bit about just practicing those sets, and I think that Wisconsin is a team that's always just been so solid. You guys are so fundamentally sound, and it speaks to how you play as well, just with your footwork and how you are underneath the basket. Kind of talk to us about where you've learned this from, developed your footwork underneath, and you've always been somebody that's just poised. I have the ball, I know what move I'm gonna make. So where does that come from?
I mean, it's interesting because I never played in the post until I got to college. I was in high school. I was a point guard growing up. I was the point guard because I was able to dribble it and not really get it stolen from me. So when I got to college with my height, they're like, yeah, you're going to be with the bigs. So it was just, we do a lot of post work in practice every single day. So just being able to do that, get comfortable around it. I think growing up, having a handle, it allows me to be comfortable with the ball in my hands wherever I'm at. So once I found something that was really able to work early in my career, I was just able to stick with it and get better at it. So I think this year I've been able to even expand it a little more where I'm driving it more than just posting up, facing up and getting to the rim. But yeah, I mean, just doing it every day here at practice at UW is where I develop my footwork and everything along those lines.
So you were a point guard. You're how tall are you? 6'9"?
Yeah, I am 6'9". I grew a little bit in college. I think I grew 2 or 3 inches in college, but
I had you listed at 6'7" coming in, right? Freshman year, and now that must be nice, crazy. Man. Growing in college. I always thought I had mine coming later in life too.
I'm still waiting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had an idea that I was going to because my dad grew in college. He was kind of a late bloomer where I was like, yeah, maybe I'll get an extra inch or maybe not, but it ended up working out all right.
And then you come in, so point guard to now you're playing against guys like Zach Edey, who's massive inside. And so using your footwork against guys like that, how have you seen, I just want to know, what is it like playing against Zach Edey? You've seen him multiple times, guys have done really well on him. You've scored on him and been aggressive. Kind of what's the game plan against that?
I think that's it. I think that's a key right there, is being aggressive because he's guarded me the last few times we played him, so I kind of have a good idea going into the game what's going to happen. And honestly, I'd rather have him guard me than one of those other big guys. He's not gonna bump you as much. It's not gonna be as tiring because I feel like that definitely takes more energy out of you than just running around. So when he's guarding me, I kind of have a little more space. I'm able to run around and not get hit as much. So I feel like it's not necessarily easier, but it's a different way and probably less tiring when I'm going up against him.
That makes sense. So Cam and Chloe obviously were played for Marquette as well, so they'll understand this more than I will. But just wondering, what's the toughest part now, 5 years as a Badger? What's been the most challenging part about just being a college athlete?
That's a great question. I think when I was younger, it's finding the balance of what you really want to do, because there's only so much time in the day. You're at the Kohl Center for 4, 5, 6 hours in a day. You got school, you got class, you got to go to, and then you got your social life on top of that. So being able to find a balance, find out what's important to you. I think that was the most difficult part. But now I've been online the last few semesters, so that's been pretty nice. Where I just go to the Kohl Center, work out, do my thing there, come back, rip out some homework if I have some, and other than that, I'm just been chilling. So I feel like I've got it figured out now.
That's one thing. Like, it always gets easier. Obviously, with your classes getting easier. I mean, at least at Marquette, like I remember my freshman sophomore year was tough because I wasn't even playing, but I remember it being tough because it's like the hardest class you're taking. You got the most workload, and then as you go junior, senior year, and then you're in your graduate year now, you almost feel like a professional athlete with having online classes, and then you got a little more freedom throughout your day. I'm sure that must be nice.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, school is no joke, especially when you're just coming into college and you don't know what it's like, you don't know how to study, all this kind of stuff. I remember my first exam, we played in South Dakota, so it was an hour behind us already, and we had a late tip. We had a game go long before us, and then we ended up in OT, and I don't think we got back till like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had to go take an exam at 8:30 the next day, and
Yeah.
I definitely could have done better. But we're here. We got the undergrad in 4. So
Like balance, I feel like is the most important thing though. I remember like the moment when I realized like I can just let loose a little bit more and just be like, okay, like I can go see my friends for this night for the first time, like since I've been a college athlete. And then you start to feel more loose on the court. So I feel like that's like speaks true. Cause you think you come into college and you're like, okay, I gotta be in the gym every single day for 24/7. I can't do anything else. And then all of a sudden I'm like, maybe I can do something else. And I start knocking down shots more, things like that. So I bet you can relate to that.
oh yeah, 100%.
What do you do to kind of quiet some of the outside noise? Like, do you ever let that bother you, or are you ever on social media at all, listening or looking at any of that stuff? Or, I just want to kind of learn a little bit more about you and how you handle that.
Yeah, I mean, in the moment, in person, like in the games and stuff, in the last year or year and a half, I've been able to do meditation where I'm focused on my breathing and stuff, and that really gets me right back into the present moment. And I've seen a lot of positive things come from that, where if something goes wrong or the team makes a run or something, I'm able to come back into the timeout, kind of get myself refocused, and then I'm able to distribute my leadership back onto the other team or onto our team, where I'm able to get the guys going again and stuff like that. But social media, I feel like as I've gotten older, you just got to realize that these people that are tweeting out, it could be bad, it could be good, but they're not in the locker room. They're not in there putting in the work every day. They don't know what you guys' game plan is, what our game plan is, what we're trying to do. So you just got to take it with a grain of salt, because they're not on the same page as we are. They're not having the meetings with the coaches, with the players, and talking through what we're really trying to do. So you just got to block it out. You can read it, but you really can't take it personal. So
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, I just want to ask you, what's your favorite memory over these last 5 years, whether it's with the team, winning a Big Ten title, or someone you played with? What kind of stands out to you, especially with senior night coming up here? Just take me through your thoughts and emotions.
There's so many memories. Like, there could be away from basketball, there could be school. I'd say my favorite basketball memory has to be Chucky banking in the 3
Absolutely.
to win the Big Ten like that. I don't think there will ever be anything to top that, in my opinion. But I think my favorite thing about my time here has just been my relationship with my teammates, where I got 4 or 5 guys that live in this apartment building here. We're usually hanging out. We're doing homework together.
Right.
But nah, we're outside the locker room. Like, we're great. We're all hanging out together. We're talking. You can go up to anyone and say what's on your mind. If you're struggling with something, if something's going good, there's always somebody on the team that's going to be able to listen to you and hear what you have to say and want to hear what you have to say. So I think just the bond and the relationship that I've built with the players here, the guys before me, the guys that just came in this year, I think that's the most special thing about coming here.
What's that? So what's the living situation like for the team? You guys said you have like 4 or 5 guys that live in the same apartment, and then does the younger guys live elsewhere?
Yeah, so the freshman year you got to live in the dorms, and then after
Yep.
that it's really up to you who you want to live with, where you want to live. And so we got lucky here. We found a spot where we had a couple 2-bedrooms open, so we were able to fill those. And then I know there's a couple other spots where there's 4 guys in an apartment, or there's four of the freshmen in Smith Hall. So we're always seeing each other. But I mean, outside of that, we'll have guys come here, watch some football games, watch some basketball games. It's really just if you're not up to something, you need something to do. Like you can definitely find someone on the team that's not up to something. So,
You know that viral video, like the Boston College guy who gets asked after March Madness, like he loses, and they ask him like, "What's his biggest memory?" He starts crying.
Food.
And then he's like, probably going out to eat, and then I just like literally know we relate to it though, because sometimes going out to eat with your teammates is like the best times ever, and
Yeah.
so I mean I think I give that guy credit, but
yeah, it's especially when we get like sometimes we'll be able to get the team card and we're able to go out and get food with just the players and none of the staff, none of the coaches, and those are usually pretty fun.
yeah, going out to eat.
All right. So, unless you guys have any other questions, we want to play a little game with you quick before we let you go. It's called Name Your Teammate Game. So, gonna start with this because you live, obviously, I think you said like 4 other guys. Who is the messiest that you live with? Messiest roommate?
I'm gonna go. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus.
No, throw them under the bus, man. They need to know.
I'm gonna go with. He doesn't live with me, but Connor Season.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
I feel like that kind of shocks me.
That's who I'm going with.
Actually shocks me too. All right, next one. Name your teammate best dancer.
Best dancer. Max Klesmit's up there. He's usually dancing. Kamari's a good dancer. Those are top 2.
Max Klesmit is the best dancer.
Yeah.
I love to hear that actually too. What's he rolling? Like, what's he rocking with? Does he have a go-to move?
I don't know if
When
it's
you guys,
best, but if there's tunes going on, like he'll hit something and it's like, okay, Max, you're feeling go.
Actually, that actually reminds me, like before tip, I'm like on the sideline,
Yes.
you know, shooting the video, and I'm always actually on Max because he's kind of like jamming. He just like looks like relaxed right before like jamming to the music and stuff. So that's funny.
is there anyone? Sorry to cut you off, Car. Is there anyone specific in the locker room that you guys are listening to?
In the lifts, we're usually listening to a bunch of rap, a lot of NBA Youngboy, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Who's the most fun teammate to go out with?
Carter Gilmore, for sure.
Life
Okay,
of the party.
I love all these answers because I wouldn't know. All right. Who's the best cook?
I don't think a whole lot of guys cook on the team.
Yeah.
I would say Ross Candelino. He'll get in the kitchen. He's Italian. He'll cook up some spaghetti or something. Right.
We love a good Italian meal.
Who is the most vocal in the locker room?
There's a few guys. It's kind of if you got something to say and it's something good, like you got the open space to say it. But I would say the most vocal people are me, Max, Chucky. Yeah, I would say we're the top vocal guys.
I think I might know the answer to this, but clutch time, last possession. Who do you want to have the ball in their hands?
Well, I feel like as a basketball player, I gotta say me.
Yeah.
But if it's not me, I would say Chucky. You gotta he's gonna be able to get a good shot up, and if he gets a clean look, you usually think that it's going in. So
if it's I'm gonna set a matchup here. Sorry, a game time scenario. Let's say you guys are down 2. There's 20 seconds left. What play would you like for Coach Guard or action for Coach Guard to run for you so that you can get a bucket and tie it up?
It could really be anything. We got a few plays to get me in the post, so anything to get me on that left block, I think something good's gonna happen. So as long as I
Well,
get down there and
I love that that's your answer because you said you never played post, but like if it's go time, crunch time situation, you want to get down there on the block, man.
be in the left block. That's why.
exactly.
Awesome. Okay, well, last thing, just senior night and March coming up. How excited are you to get one more opportunity, Big Ten tournament and March Madness?
I'm so excited for senior day. It's actually my birthday on Thursday.
Nice,
So
that works out well.
It's a great way to go out. I think my last game at the Kohl Center senior night, my birthday. It's only right we get a win, right?
Yeah,
And it's only right.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm excited for that. And then just this last little March session. Hopefully we get hot here. We make the tournament. We figure some things out and just really soak it in. We didn't make the tournament last year, which was definitely a disappointment. So just being able to get back there, soak it all in, and hopefully win a few games.
Awesome.
Yeah, Tyler, I'm sure you know, man. All it takes is one victory to get it turned around and then catch fire in March. So I'll let Carly close it up. But for me, I just want to say good luck against Rutgers and Purdue to finish it up. And then hopefully you guys make a long run in the tournament. We're rooting for you.
Wisconsin always catch fire late in the season. So
yeah, I'm not one of the doubters here. Chloe and I, we already know what's coming for Wisconsin.
Yeah, we already know.
Yeah, Tyler, thank you so much for your time. Seriously, we really appreciate you coming on, and happy early birthday as well.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.